recording. Speaker view. We live. Awesome, guys. Well, I'm excited. I'm really excited about this webinar because this webinar, I was, going through some old notes today, reviewing some old trainings today, and I apologize. I look a little tired. It's because I am. I'm exhausted. I'm not feeling too well, but surviving, thriving, and going next level. So I'm going to give everything I have today. And so what I want to start with, I really, like I said, I put a lot of time into this training, put a lot of time into my thought process here because of the importance of the webinar that we're going to have. And I know Nancy did the same as well. And, I really need some help. I am feeling a little bit tired. So what I want you guys to do is drop some gratitude for me. Drop some, I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for the meals I've had today. I'm grateful for the air that I'm breathing today. Are you grateful for things that haven't happened yet, right? That's something that's super big, being grateful for maybe the next rank or the next figure in your trading account or the promotion at your job or, the girlfriend you've been wishing for. I don't know, pick something, right? Whatever that, I just got a dirty look from Jordan. whatever you're grateful for, drop that in the chat. And then secondly, right, type in, I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive. And on top of that, I am ready to give. So for those who have been with me or been with us or have seen this training prior, I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. I've done this training before. I did it in December. I actually reviewed the training today. I did December 9th of 2019. I talked about, okay, what is your goal for the next 30 days? What is your goal for quarter one? What is your goals for? And I laid out, really those steps. And so what I want for those who have been on one of these calls before is to go through your old planner, right? Take the MyEra planner that you currently have. If you don't have it, it's okay. I'll drop the link in the channel in a little bit. Like I said, I don't have an affiliate link for these, unfortunately. So, you get to give the company all the money. But go through that and see, what did you accomplish, right? Was your previous 90 days exactly what you wanted it to be, right? Did it feel like how you wanted to be? Did it sound like? Did it taste like? Did it look like? Was it exactly what you thought it was going to be? Was the vision important to you in a way that you actually looked back at it every single day? And did you keep inspired by those people? Right? So go back and really spend some time reflecting. Guys, tomorrow is the last day of quarter one. And the reason why I wanted to do this training previous to the Blitz and not after, because obviously all eyes on the Blitz, all eyes on this week, all eyes on Saturday, the things that are happening, is because I wanted you to prepare yourself for the next 90 days. Like we always said, preparation is the highest form of belief. It's the highest form of faith because you're acting as if it's already done and putting yourself into a position to receive what you desire. So if you went through this training in December, I really recommend going back through that, reflecting, and then re-watching this training again and going through the next 90 days. And so for those who haven't seen it, I have the link to the old one right here. If you want to save that, if you want to watch it, cool. If not, whatever. I just really recommend spending some time into it. I know a lot of people are, you're creating your list, you're inviting for the week, you have a lot going on. And most people would say, don't do anything other than that. But I really believe taking 2 to 4 hours this week and even tonight and tomorrow and focusing on, your last 90 days and focusing on the next 90 days is going to be absolutely critical. It's going to really put you into position to do what you want to do over the next 90 days. And so I'm going to get started with this. I just wanted to start with that because I think it's super important, just being aware. And so I want to start with one of the quotes that I love, something that really took me off guard in New York. You're in the spot you're at now because that's where you want to be. You're in the spot now. You're in the spot you're at now because that's where you want to be. And I think something that's really special about that line is a lot of people take that as like a negative, right? They're like, oh, damn, that was a smack in the face. I got to get to work, right? Oh, damn, that was a smack in the face. I got to do better. And I think really you can look at that statement and take it to the positive. If you're currently not in the spot that you want to be at right now, and we know it's because that's exactly where you want to be, all you have to do is change your want. Right? You just have to change your want. And that's what we're going to be going over now is what do you want? What do you desire? Where do you want to be in the next 90 days? Because once you understand that, that's exactly the spot that you're going to put yourself in, right? That's why we wrote those note cards, or we wrote those pieces of paper, those congratulation letters, right? That's why we wrote them. Have you still been reading them every single day? If not, right, that wasn't the spot that you truly wanted to be at. That was the spot that felt good, right? See, that's the slap in the face part. But here's the next part. It's okay. It's okay, because now you can say, this is where I want to go. This is what we're going to do. And so where do you want to be? Guys, I think awareness is one of the most important things in the world, because awareness helps you create decisions. And a lot of this are little key phrases that you've heard before. And like I said, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly after this. There are a lot of key phrases that you've heard before, and that's absolutely fine. And let me tell you why. Because the repetition of these small phrases are the things that are going to change your business. Awareness is what allows you to create decisions. Decisions what gives you the results that you desire. So now that we know where we want to go, right? Or currently where we're at and where we want to go. We didn't spend a lot of time on it, right? But we thought about it. You know what you want the moment you hear the phrase, right? Where do you want to be? The first thing you think about is your true place that you want to be at, right? So having awareness of what's coming up next and focusing on these dates and leading up and working towards these dates is going to allow us to run towards something. It's going to allow us to make decisions, and it's going to give us the results that we desire. So write these dates down, right? I'm talking about the next era, the next 90 days, but really what I want to talk about is what Matt Rosa talked about. And he did a whole entire training this week. I believe it was day 2 about short-term, long-term goals, having financial and fulfillment goals within their short-term and long-term goals. And I'm going to define the short-term goal as 90 days and your long-term goal as 270 days, the end of 2020, right? So where do you want to be at the end of 2020? And we're going to go through little, I guess, points, pit stops that you're going to be able to keep track of. I think of a good example like track and field, right? Anyone who ever ran track and field or watched track and field, 1,600 meters is 1 mile, right? And every time you did one lap, you were at 400 meters. That's how I want you to look at the year. Each and every single quarter is just one lap around the single race that we're focusing on here. And I think something that's super important, is understanding that as long as you don't get off the track, you're eventually going to finish the race that you set yourself out on, right? Maybe your goal isn't hit by April 1st. Maybe your goal doesn't get hit over the next 90 days. Maybe the goal that you have for the next 270 days, 2020, maybe it doesn't get hit. That's okay. That is okay, as long as you stay on the track. It doesn't matter if lap 2 is your slowest pace. It doesn't matter as long as you stay on the track. Guys, I love the dates. Some people don't, some I do. Let me tell you why. Because it creates a sense of urgency. It puts focus on what you need to do to get you where you need to be. Some people say, oh, well, the date is bad. Look at this really quick. Do not allow yourself to get down on yourself because a goal didn't get hit. It's just reflection time. Okay, April 1, it didn't happen. Or, quarter 2, it didn't happen, right? Let's reflect and focus on the main race here. And so we're 75 days away from the New York Regional on June 13th. Now, it's tentative, right? The regional right now is tentative due to the coronavirus, but this is what I'm going to tell you. Do not let something that's tentative, that's up in the air, stop you from focusing on a goal that you want to achieve. I'm gonna stick with track example. I just thought of this right now. This is a good example. If you're a mile runner, right? Does the location of the school or the gym or anywhere that you're running change the distance that you have to run? No. It doesn't matter if I go to this gym, if I go to that gym, if I go to that outdoor course, if I go to this university. A mile is always going to be 4 laps, right? So don't let situations change, right? The end goal. So we're 75 days away from New York. Don't worry about whether or not it's happening. That's irrelevant, right? We're working towards that goal. We're then 158 days, right, away from the Houston International Convention. right? That's on September 4th. And this is where awareness comes into play, because here's the next 2 dates I'm going to give you, right? November, we have the chairman retreat. In QC, we made a goal of having 10 chairmen coming with us, right? 10 chairmen coming with us in November. And in December, we have GoPro and the end of our 270 days. So we got New York in 75 days, which is quarter one, step one. We got the Houston Regional, right, on September 4th, which is step two. And then we got the chairman retreat and the end of the year, which is step three in quarter four. And so I want you to focus on these dates and really start to think, okay, what is my end goal, right? What is my end goal, and how can I work my way back from that? This is really, really, really important here, right? So for us, our end goal by the end of the year is Chairman 100, right? It's Chairman 100. That's been something that we've been saying. It's something that we already have written down, but we understand that we have to work our way backwards to get to that point, right? There's things that have to be done, levels that have to be hit, systems that have to be put into place, leaders that we have to develop, ranks that have to be smashed for us to get to that end goal. So what I like to do is say, okay, what is my end goal? Chairman 100, right? You're going to write that down. I'm not going to pause the recording. I know last video, what we did was this was like a 2-hour call, and we paused and we took time and we wrote things down. I'm really just going to go through this, and the people that will go through it are the ones that will get the results. That's just what I'll say. And so you have to say, what is my end goal? And then you have to backtrack yourself and see what needs to be done in order for that to get accomplished. And so let's go over the next 90 days. Let's go over the next 90 days. I think this is something super important. Guys, this is the planner that I use. It's called thisismyera.com. I guess you can't really see it. Thisismyera.com. I know a lot of people on the team are using it. What I like about this company is it's buy one, give one. The moment you buy a book, they send a book to like underprivileged kids wherever in the world. And they have tons of discounts, right? Get a group of four. Get a group of 4 people. They're like $20 a pop, and it's going to last you 90 days, right? So message your neighbor, message someone on your team, message your accountability partner. And really, honestly, just split it. Each buy 2. It's going to cost you $40. That's going to put you in place to really, really, I'll buy them all 4, whatever you need, right? For 90, 180, 270 days. This is the planner for especially people that like taking notes, like writing things down. If you prefer this over the computer, this is 100% the way to go. So this is the question. And this is where you're going to take a moment to write down the vision for your era, because you have to see, right, before you can actually receive, right? That's something that David Amite talked about. He said, I saw before I was, right? I saw before I was. And it was one of those things where I was like, damn, that really made sense to me, because your subconscious mind can't tell the difference. It can't tell the difference, right? So if you're sitting right down right now, you're closing your eyes, you're putting yourself in this environment, and you're visioning yourself walking across the stage, your brain, right, your subconscious mind has already accepted this as fact, and now it has to arrange everything else, right, to put you into that position, right? So I'm going to have you put down 3 questions here. What does your era look like, feel like, and sound like? What would you be doing? I'm going to write it down. What does your era look like, feel like, and sound like? What would you be doing? Right? So what does your era look like, feel like, and sound like? What would you be doing? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, why is this vision important to you? Why is this vision important to you? And number 3 is, who or what inspires me or inspires you, right? Who or what inspires you? Really take time, really take time to go through these questions, right? And let me tell you why. Guys, we have prepared tremendously for quarter 2. Honestly, the rest of the year. Honestly, your whole entire career. Honestly, everything. We have prepared. we have put ourselves into a position, especially those who've been with us for the whole entire year, maybe a little bit different for people that just got started with us, because we've done now 2 separate chairman boot camps. We've already done a blitz week, right? We put in over 50 people, just checked today, over 50 people in March. And now we have Jason Brown and Matt Rosa doing a blitz week. And then this Sunday, right? This Sunday, I'm going to attach the file in here so you guys can save it. This Sunday, we have a Super Saturday, but on a Sunday. Y'all get the point. I attached the file in there. Y'all can save it. Someone drop it in the chat for me, right? So really, we now know what going all in is. We now know truly what we're capable of. And I think that's the most powerful thing, is because a lot of people, right, they'll say this, well, my goal is P2K, but in reality, I want to hit P1. Let me tell you something. You won't even hit P1. You won't, because you don't even really believe in that goal either, right? What does QC stand for? Right? You have to create your reality. It's not, I want to hit P2, but I'm looking for P1. It's, no, I'm hitting Platinum 2000 over the next 90 days. I am so happy and grateful now that I am Platinum 2000 by the end of Q2. And there's no excuse now, because over the past 3 weeks, what have we done? We've done 2 opportunity calls an evening. We've done a trading training an evening. We've done a business training an evening, right? We literally have seen more 3, 4, 5-figure traders than we've ever seen in 1 month ever happen, right? We've seen the flyers be posted. We've seen the rank up happen. We now know what we're capable of in creating our reality. So listen, this is what I wrote down for my Q1. I personally haven't done my Q2 yet. I'm doing this training in preparation for me to do this, right? I'm doing this training because I really think this is extremely important. This is what I'm going to be spending time doing, right? I have all these boxes all over the house. I have suitcases and crazy things, but I'm focusing on this because I know how important this is, right? So what does your era look like, feel like, and sound like? What should you be doing, right? This is what I wrote. My era, it didn't happen. Maybe not yet. I don't know. There's still 2 more days, right? But this is what I said for Q1. I am so happy and grateful now that I am Chairman 25. In the next era, we have produced 4 Chairman 10s and acquired 1,250 customers. There is daily events and regionals every month. I will travel more, impact abroad. The team is touring simultaneously. The new QC family members join daily. I feel abundant, blessed, and worthy. I surround myself with influence and receive only positive information. I am all in and the top recruiter. I obtain, train, retain. A lot of that happened. A lot of that happened this quarter, right? Tons of new people got started. People were going all in. We traveled like 10 plus countries, right? Like people smashing ranks. And our retention was through the freaking roof. I think it was almost 100%. It was absolutely freaking insane. Maybe not 100%. Y'all get the point though. It was up there. And then I wrote, why is this vision important to me? The vision and affirmation is important to me because it creates financial abundance in the lives of thousands. My mom will retire in 2021 and be able to do what makes her happy. This vision will set people free and bring them to fulfillment. It will create psychotic belief, which will trickle into the lives of millions, leaving this planet positively impacted, right? I understand or understood why doing what I need to do over the next 90 days was important. So make sure you understand, okay, what do I want to accomplish in Q2? How does that apply into Q3 and Q4? What does it look like, feel like, sound like? So what am I doing? How am I feeling? Abundant, I'm blessed. What do I have here? I'm blessed, I'm worthy, right? And what does this sound like? Psychotic behavior, positive information, different things like that. Why is it important to you? And then determine who inspires you, because when this gets tough, right? Because remember, just because, the goal is scary, how do I say this properly? If we know that we can create our reality, we should have a scary goal. We should have something that kind of makes us feel a little off balance. Something where we're like, how the hell are we going to do this? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how. Y'all already know that, right? It doesn't matter how. Once it's put out there, it's game over. not really game over. It's kind of like it's done. And so that's important, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? A lot of people will say, oh, the how doesn't, they make it sound all the good, and it is, but it doesn't make it easy. Setbacks are going to happen. You're going to have a week of losing trades. Sometimes team members are going to lose. You're going to have things happen in your family. Something's going to happen to your finances. Something's going to happen at work. You're going to have the coronavirus, right? Shit happens, right? But what are you looking at every single day that inspires you to remind you why it's important to become actually dedicated and not motivated to get the job done, right? So I wrote, I'm inspired by my why and the progression of other worthy ideals. The success of others is my biggest motivation. Therefore, I must be willing to go all in for the success of others in order to completely fulfill the blessing of this era, right? The blessing of this era. And so go through those things, right? Go through those things. Now, in the last call, I sent that recording in the chat. I'll send it again because I saw we had about 15 to 20 new people jump on this call. Re-go through that recording. I spend a lot of time going over so much more, like master goal list. That's something that's super important. In this book, you're going to have something called your master goal list, right? It's super crazy because a lot of these actually were getting close to being done. And you're going to have to write these things down. And I think this is super important. Anything that you write down, I know on my next one I'm using blue though. I wrote black and I regret it. I need to go get a blue pen, right? I'm gonna go get a blue pen and get that done. So as you're going through this book, right, you're going to, or this planner, you're gonna have, what does your next 90 days look like? You're gonna have your master goal list. You're gonna be able to write down, okay, the next 10 goals over the next 1 to 3 years. I wrote at the top, I'm so happy and grateful now. And on my notes, I said, this is a 1 to 3 year vision. Every goal is already accomplished. Time just has to catch up. It is done. I wrote things like Chairman 100, best physical shape of my life, retire my mom and help her open up 2 businesses. We've already done one of the businesses. 7 figures in IM residual income, open traditional business, 40 countries visited, 1/3 of the way done with that now, right? Tax-free accounts being open, credit business automated, 6 figures in annuities, Amazon automated. I was writing things down over the next 1 to 3 years I want to accomplish so I know what I need to do. Then you're going to have the monthly goals, your monthly review. This is important. This is important, right? You have to plan out the next 3 months. One thing that Jason and Matt made us do when we were in Punta Cana for the chairman retreat was map out all of 2020. Map out all of 2020. You literally have to write, even if you don't know what the hell you're doing, just start typing some things in. We were putting like P1K in Australia. A couple of weeks ago, we just found out someone wants to run from Australia. Right, we were literally typing random countries into our planner saying we're going to go there, and then all of a sudden things started to happen, right? So start writing things out. Look at your monthly review. Okay, April, what's the first week of April? Write down Blitz, right? Then on that Sunday you have the op call. After that, just start writing things down. In June or in May, there's A&MP at the end of the month, right? In June you have the 2K retreat, right? That's going to be in Miami. I forgot to mention that earlier. You also have the New York regional, right? You have all these different things. So start writing these things down and start planning. David talks about this. David says when people ask him business advice, if they don't have their planner with them, he won't talk to them because that means they're just not taking it seriously, right? You have to plan or you're going to plan to fail. Preparing and planning is the same exact thing. We're preparing, we're planning. This is super, super important. Then you're going to have your weekly review. Guys, I'm going quickly through this because I really want you to spend insane amounts of time on it. I don't know with 100 plus people on this call what your year goal is. I don't know what your quarterly goal is. But what you can do is break it down and systemize it. And this is what Nancy's going to talk about next because she's the best at it, right? Organizing everything. And she's going to go over. So honestly, she should go for like 2 hours because she has a lot of stuff that is valuable, right? And that's why I want to go fast because I want her to talk. But this is going to have your weekly review. So now you can reflect, right? There's going to be reflections on it. Where's this at? There's going to be reflections on it. So you'll have what you're thankful for, or the morning reflections, what you're thankful for. Oh, this is daily. Oops, my bad, Joe. Gotta go back here. See, weekly review. You'll have your wins and your accomplishments, your lessons learned. It's going to talk about what are your week's goals and priority, right? What are your week's goals and priorities? What are key action steps for each goal? Goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, goal 4, goal 5. What are notes? What are date completions that need to be done, right? So this is going to be next. Then you're going to have your daily schedule. When you wake up in the morning, what's your 3, 2, 1? What are your today's priorities? What's your to-do list? What's your affirmations? At the end of the evening, you can go over your accomplishments and the things that you learned and the key follow-ups. You can schedule your day, right? So get a planner and plan, right? Put yourself in position to actually make this happen, to actually say, okay, this is what I want to accomplish, and this is what I'm actually going to want to do. Let me look back at my notes here. That's pretty much it. And so really, really, really dive deep into your thought process tonight, right? Dive deep into your thoughts tonight and really seek what you desire. Guys, there has never been a better time, honestly, to do this. Like, I've been saying this so much, and I feel like I'm speaking to the choir, and I feel like I'm repeating, hey, can we stop? There's no need to join Robinhood. You don't, that's trash. Okay. So what's it called? I'm distracted. I'm gonna beat the chat. So what's it called? There's honestly no better time than now. I really can't explain it any other way. With how everything is lining up, it comes down to awareness. It comes down to the fact of, do you understand that you're in the right place at the right time and the right people doing the right things? Guys, like really, really, really like sit down tonight and just scroll through the chat and ask if you've ever been in any other chat like this. Go through the trading chat, look at the announcements, right? Really look at everything and understand what you have and realize that there is thousands of people that would love to be a part of something like that. There are thousands of people right now that want to be a part. I just posted this on Instagram a couple days ago, and I've been slacking. What is the quote? Where is it at? Right here. Right, perfect. There are great people right now in the world ready, but they're waiting to be contacted by the right person. Become that right person, right? This is honestly the opportunity of a lifetime, and we just have to take advantage of it. So guys, that was the short-ended side of just goal setting, just going through that really quick. I really, really just want you to spend time with this. I didn't want to give you a cookie cutter. I want you to go through this. If you're confused, message me, right? Shoot me, Alana, every single week, shoot me a message about what her goals, her priorities are for the week. We conversate about it. At the end of the week, she'll send me another message saying, this is what happens. We'll reflect on it together. We talk about it. Like, we do that all the time, right? Find someone to do that with. Really just work with people and make that happen. So guys, that's the first half of this training. What I'm really excited about this call though is the organization half. I really think that once you can learn how to organize and get focused and put yourself into a position to win, you can take off with this. Seriously, you could take off with this. Like, organization is at least 1/4 of success. It's one of the key components you need, from operating your business to operating your schedule to operating your life, finding quote unquote balance. And what we're going to go over tonight, I know we had a couple topics. I honestly don't know what she's going to do. I kind of have a Q&A I'm going to surprise her with at the end, potentially, depending on how much time we spend here. But honestly, Nancy is one of the most organized people in the world. And you guys know me when it comes to organization. And so, like, for me to be like, yo, this person's got it going on, I'm being dead serious. This person has got it going on. I think a lot of us understand that from just the way that she's able to check in with people. People that work directly understand that, okay, when she says she's going to check in, she's going to check in, right? When she says she's going to do a call, she's going to show up to the call, right? It's because she's organized, right? And a lot of the time, this can be a skill set where sometimes you don't want to train so many other people on it, because it's like, it's really what grows the business massively. And for her to say, okay, I want to teach every single person how I do this, is something that is literally, it's breathtaking. It's just the epitome of servant leadership. And so, Nancy, I'm going to go ahead and make you co-host just in case something happens here and you got to unmute yourself. But please, 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 I'm going to move out the way of greatness and let you take over.
I appreciate you, big guy. Honestly, guys, me and Tim get along so well because we're both yellow personalities. We like to take notes on everything and then just have kind of like, we have, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for, but we just take notes on everything and make sure that everything is in its place, because we know that at one point or another, we will go back and it will be needed and we will have it right there and then. If you ever asked him for a link, he will send it to you almost immediately. It is actually super impressive. That guy does not leave his phone. But I appreciate you, big guy. All right, guys. Tim touched on a lot of great topics. This is my era, the planner. I'm so excited to get started on it because it came in late for the last 90-day period, but I get to start it on April 1st, so that's Wednesday. I'm super excited about it. But we're going to get into a little bit of what it takes to be an organized person, because we all heard from Matt Rosa, not everyone is naturally organized, right? We're not all yellows. Some of us are red, some of us are blues, some of us are green. That doesn't mean that we can't become a little bit yellow. We can't become a little bit organized and have our shit together, for lack of better words, which is not a bad thing. It all just comes down to tiny changes. Tiny changes will make remarkable results. And remember that the quality of the life that you live depends on the quality of our habits. So let's start there. Let's become someone that is organized. We've heard Mike say it a lot. Your identity, who you identify as, you become. So if you say, I am organized, I am someone who takes notes every single time, I am someone who has a full calendar every single day, that is your identity. Then your actions will come accordingly to that identity, because otherwise that identity wouldn't be true. So we even heard Tim say it right now, preparation is the highest form of belief. Remember that the results don't come quickly. So it's about being prepared when the results do come. How are you going to be Chairman 500 tomorrow if you can't even have a team of 50 people today, if you're not ready for that? So you have to be prepared to receive 500 people. You have to be prepared to receive 225 people. Be prepared to receive even 30 people. Some people aren't ready for that. So preparation is key. It's the highest form of belief. So the more evidence you have about the belief, the more strongly you will believe in it, right? If I have all these things ready and I know that the people are going to come, then I'm going to believe in it even more. My belief level just went from a 10 to 100 because I know that now I have evidence. That's the word I was looking for. Now I have evidence that I'm someone that's organized. Now I have my notes, I have my planner, I have digital notes, I have a Google Calendar, so on and so forth. Now I have evidence that this is someone who I am. And then I just have to receive. So that time will take care of that when it has its chance. So you want to be the person that works more based off of fear than faith, right? So be prepared. Be prepared to receive more than you are prepared to not have it. Because if you don't do anything, then you're more prepared to not have it. And that's more based off of fear. I'm not ready for it. Of course you're not. You decided that. So stay ready, guys. So you should be more concerned with your current trajectory than your current results. Remember that your vision, something that Tim talks about all the time, your vision, that's where you're going to go. Something that I heard a while ago, I don't snowboard. I've gone like once, but think about it this way. If you're snowboarding and all you're saying is don't hit the trees, don't hit the trees, don't hit the trees, so you're staring at the trees, guess where you're gonna go? You're gonna hit the tree. But if you're snowboarding and all you're looking at is the path right in front of you, you will go to the clear path in front of you and not hit anything else, because that is what your trajectory is looking at. So just stay focused on what you gotta do and don't focus on all this negative area aside of you. Remember that your outcomes are lagging measures of your habits, right? It's not gonna happen immediately, unfortunately, and kind of fortunately. So everything that you do, for example, your weight, it's a lagging measure of your eating habits, right? It doesn't happen right away. I'm not going to gain 50 pounds tomorrow. But if I keep eating shit, like during this quarantine, it might happen. Same thing with the clutter. If your house is a mess, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you keep buying unnecessary stuff, then you have a cluttered home. So your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. But now let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into, okay, what systems do I actually have in place? And remember that systems are just put into place to save yourself time, energy, and money. And honestly, I'm just so happy that I have these things in place, because I feel like otherwise I'd be a cluttered mess. If I have things in front of me, I know where they are, I know where they go, and I could write them down somewhere, then my mind is more clear because they're somewhere else and not taking up space up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, maybe. Here we go. And I know that you guys have all seen this, or at least you should. Mine looks a little bit different because I customized it. So I encourage you guys to customize things so that they look aesthetically appealing to you, right? You don't want to look at something that's boring, otherwise you're never going to want to look at it. I just picked purple because it's third eye. Anyway, your trader's constitution, you've seen this. It's your trading made easy template or Excel sheet. So you have your trader's affirmations on here. You have a few other things on here. You got your risk management. This is where I want to show you guys. So I included trading with building, because here I didn't just choose to do one, right? Matt Rosa said, if there's two $100 bills on the floor, you're not just going to pick up one. So I became prepared for both. I have my trader's constitution. I have my trading journal. I use tradingview.com to also publish and then know what my trades are looking like, which ones win and which ones don't. So I can back test. And then I have things that prepare me for the week, things that prepare me for my business. So this I just call a dashboard because I didn't know what else to call it. But I have some quotes that keep me in place. Tim said something about quotes. It's the small ones that are going to make you, that are going to remind you of what you got to do. So education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela said that. John C. Maxwell, someone that I know a lot of the greatest leaders like Matt Rosa, John Guaman, Mike and Tim listen to or read upon, he said, dreams don't work unless you do, right? So get to work. So here I just have a place where I have important links. I have Forex Factory, I have the IM Center, I have the Trade House training course, I have an introduction to the presentation by Mike and Tim, I have the launch recording, I have the launch document, I have a warm marketing training, I have cold marketing training, I got my calendar that we'll get into a little bit later, I have the blueprint, and then I have some of Brandon Boyd's videos. So whenever somebody asks me, hey Nancy, where can I find this? I just go here, and then they are there. And then they are also, I like to have things in multiple places sometimes. So I have a Google Keep app on my phone as well. So I could just type in important links, maybe. Important links. And then I also have them here. So I am ready. Whether somebody asks me on Telegram or through text, I can send them the links that they need immediately. Cool, let's close that. All right, now, you guys should have a pipeline of people interested, right? And then the way that you keep those people organized is through something called a CRM. I think it's a customer relationship management, something. So here I have mine that is a little outdated because I think I did this when I first got started almost 2 years ago. So it's not the most aesthetic, but it does the job. Here I have basically, I don't want to give out too many people's information, so I'll go through this quickly. But basically you have the prospect's name, when or where you met them, their preferred form of contact, their city, and then instead of doing follow-up 1, 2, and 3, whatever, you could just do the last time that you followed up, or put in like a little section for notes and who they spoke to maybe, or what blitz call they were on. And this is just so like our brain can only retain so much information, right? 5%, I think they say, and that's just from one training or one call. So imagine you went to New York, you met someone on the street. Well, are you going to remember that when you're back home? Are you going to do that for every single person? No. So when you do meet those people that show a little bit interest, or that you just know they'd be so great at this, go ahead and write down their name, get their contact information, their Instagram. Even if you follow them, write it down again, because if you have 7,000 followers on Instagram, then you're going to take a lot of time to find that one person that you met that one time. So go ahead and do that. And then I have something that I call a leaderboard. or for my leaders, so I know, okay, what it is that they're doing, how I can help them, their leg balance, so I know, okay, this guy's 2 away from P6, like let's keep pushing. This guy's 1 away from P1K, let's keep pushing. What can I do? Who can I taproot? Who is their newest member? So on and so forth. And then everyone on QC should have this team inventory. I widen mine out so you guys don't see all my personal information or my people's, but basically your name, your leg 1, the leaders, leg 2, leg 3, and then if we go ahead and click on somebody's name, for example, here, then it will go to their inventory, and then they will have their leg structure, leader 1, leader 2, leader 3, so on and so forth. You have their ID number, their payment, their next payment, so you know when it's coming up, where where they're located, so that you know who to work with. Because remember, guys, when you are placing people, you should place off of location and vibration, whether they're an active customer or not. Yes, there's also a part that I post for whether they pay with Bitcoin or not, because if they pay with Bitcoin or what is it, ACH, then it might lag a little bit. Their rank, their leg balance, and then when events come up, I place, okay, are they going to the event or not? That way you have a head count of how many people are showing up, and then you could check up on them too. Hey, did you buy your flight? Hey, did you buy your ticket? Do you have your Airbnb? So on and so forth. So this should be worked on. It should say New York and Houston next, but then you have their social information or the social media information as well. Is that everything? Okay, cool. So something else that I use, well, let me pause sharing here. Where's my OneNote? Oh, something else that I use that I recommend for you is an app called OneNote. So you could have this on your computer or your phone, and I like it because it will synchronize when you're on Wi-Fi. So any notes that you're taking, you can go ahead and do that, and then you can access them later on. So for example, let's go to here. I have all these notebooks, right? Nancy's notebooks, personal development, building impact, which is like building, and so it is, which is some like audios that I listen to and miscellaneous objects, real estate, Forex, crypto, IML related specifically, and then Spanish stuff. So let's go ahead and go to, shit, where do I want to go? Let's go to building impact. So I have all the chairman bootcamp trainings here. We got Matt Rosa, in Spanish and in English. We got Jason, Matt, so on and so forth. So here we are, levels of leadership, that was lit. Which ones? Oh, actually, let's go to IML. So here I have organization. So trade house schedule, it's all right here for me. So if anyone ever needs it, I got you. Here we have this week's. So today was pretty light. We only had this training because we're focused on blitz calls, right? Tomorrow's gonna be pretty light. We're focused on bounce back, mic, blitz calls. Same thing with Wednesday, bounce back, blitz calls. That is our main focus. Then we have the Spanish. So I have it as well. Si lo quieren, I got you. But basically all I'm saying is that you have a spot for where everything goes. And then you could refer to it because you named these folders. So I know that John Guaman always says, you know, your notebooks are basically uncashed checks. Here I have so many notes, and that's why I admire Tim so much, because once I saw his laptop, and he had 1 billion notes, guys. Like he was overusing that shit. But honestly, it's so great because like he has quotes for days. You know how he runs his trainings. He could say 1 million great things, and those are the things that make people's like paradigm shift. And you're probably thinking like, how does he have that all in his brain? It's because he has 1 billion notes, and he actually goes back to them and reviews them, and then they get stuck in his brain. So next thing, stop sharing again, just to reshare. My best friend is Google Calendar. So here's the thing. What's the thing? Let's go with day by day, right? So this is my day today. It's not Monica Duran's birthday yet. But Mike and I do this thing where we don't go to bed until our next day is full. And I know that a lot of people, like for example, Matt, Tim, Jason, they like to have their next 90 days planned out. And I like to do that too. Sometimes Mike and Tim and I will sit down and say, okay, where are we gonna go? but I think it's kind of impossible to pack out those 90 days, right? So we'll get it a little bit into DMOs and how to get there. But basically you want to have your must-dos. And I like to say that you have 5 priorities: personal development, profits, prospecting, promoting, presenting, and if you're a parent, then you're parenting, right? So that should take up a good solid bunch or your foundation of your day. And then everything else will fill it up. So I already know that's my foundation for all eternity. And then all the calls will magically appear in my Google, I swear. So yesterday we went to bed, I don't know, like 3, 4. But we didn't go to bed until we knew what our day looked like tomorrow or today. So that's the same thing that we're going to do every single day. So this is my week. Right now it looks like Tuesday to Friday or Tuesday to Saturday is pretty empty, but believe me guys, these just magically get full. And Tim said it once, like, if you don't know what time you're taking a shower, what time you're having lunch, then you're not planning your day out correctly. And then something else that I like to say, out of sight, out of mind. So not only do I have it in my Google Calendar, I have a physical planner as well, because I like to write things out in blue ink too. And then we have our whiteboard. So I write it probably one too many times, but that way I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly what it's going for, and I have evidence. So if someone were to ask me, and I swear I've seen Matt Groza do this, he said, "What does your next 3 months look like?" To someone on the Puerto Rico team. And they stood frozen. And then he said, "What does your next week look like? Your next 7 days?" And then they were still frozen. And I was just like, holy shit, like I'm ready for him to ask me that because I have proof that I do shit and I get shit done. So I thought that was really cool. Like, be prepared, guys. And then it's also really cool because I have the link that'll show you for my team where they could actually like be plugged into my calendar. So anytime they want calls, they'll know when I'm free and when I'm not. So if you guys want that, good stuff. Next thing. Okay, so how to get your DMOs. I've had this, or what they even are. So DMOs are daily method of operation, right? What you're doing on a daily basis to get you to where you want to be. Your vision, whether it be short-term or long-term. Who are you? And what is the evidence of what you do? Like, who does it portray you as a person? How do you identify as? So I like to get my DMOs because I watched a video on YouTube. It was Mind Valley University on OKRs. So OKRs are objectives and key results. I'll send you guys the video. But basically, I'm going to show you. I got the okay to show Sheila's. What happened here, Sheila? So basically, we're going to work on your core value. You guys are a business, right? Stephanie Lopez is a business. Melanie Delgado is a business. Tim Sloma is his own business, right? We are not like, who said it, Jay-Z? I'm not a businessman, I'm the businessman. So you are your own business, you are your own organization. If we went on your website, what would your mission statement be? What would your core value be? So we write that down. She's working with family in mind towards independence, time freedom via providing value to others, impacting 500 lives and help them find who they truly are, providing value and building relationships. That is Sheila Cuevas. Now we're gonna break down, okay, how are we gonna accomplish that? So we have 3 to 5 objectives. 1, 2, 3. Do we have any more? Okay, minimum 3 objectives on how we're gonna have that happen. So to her, it's uncovering my true self and encouraging others to do the same. Consistent growth on trading account, working in favor of compound interest. Continuously showing platform and opportunity to others. Super simple, right? Now we're gonna break down the key results necessary to have those objectives play out. So what does she need to do in order to uncover her true self and encourage others to do the same? What does she need to do to make sure that she's consistently growing her trading account and having compound interest work in her favor? What does she need to do to show the platform and opportunity to others? So you're breaking it down. And I think a key point that he had in terms of breaking down these key results is make some of these your reach goals, something that you could do on a daily basis, or you probably already are doing on a daily basis. And then make some of these aspirational goals where you don't know how the hell you're going to make it happen, but you're going to make it happen. So for example, she's consuming an hour of personal development 7 days a week, every single day, and a page of notes per subject. She's meditating 15 minutes every single day. She's sharing her thoughts and opinions and inspiration on Instagram 5 times a week. So now you're noticing that there are quantities. Yes, quantities. So you can measure these. If I see that 4 days have passed by and Sheila hasn't posted any inspirational whatever on Instagram, then I know that she's not working on her DMOs. With trading, she's watching 10 hours of Go Live every single week. She's asking questions as soon as they peak. She's taking live trades. She's marking up her own charts 5 times a week for 1 hour and specifying liquidity, imbalance, etc. She's depositing $25 weekly, and her aspirational goals is to eventually start depositing $100 weekly. And she's going to do that on Tuesdays. So now we're getting super, super specific, right? The reason why we're getting this specific is simply so when it comes to DMO time, we already know what they are. Her DMOs, her daily method of operation, how the organization or the business of Sheila Cuevas runs is that she wakes up at 5 a.m. every single morning. She has 15 minutes of meditation. She does an hour of personal development. If it's Tuesday or Thursday, she's at 5 a.m. on Rock Prumer's channel. Tuesday to Thursday, she's on 8 a.m. for the bounce back session, obviously. Tuesday and Thursday, she's on at 9 a.m. for Mike's New York session. And then she's on Power Hour. She's also on Sandy Cresper's. So now we're seeing, okay, her 10 hours of Go Live are obviously being checked off. Then she's a graphic designer, right? So she does 30 minutes minimum every single day on her graphic design stuff. She works out an hour and a half a day, and then she spends at least 1 hour minimum posting on Instagram, following 10 people, and messaging 5 new people. This is the daily method of operations of Sheila Cuevas. Now, here's the thing. Everything that we've gone through right now and the things that we still have yet to do. Remember, I don't know if it was Tim, I don't know who said it, but I know Tim repeated it. If you hit chairman tomorrow, would anyone be surprised? I have evidence. Tim and Mike have seen me work effortlessly, endlessly. Oh, puppy. So if you have evidence and you're saying I am someone who, I am a chairman, right? It's cheap to say I am. They're the most powerful words, but it's like talk is cheap, right? So if you say I am a chairman, I'm a 5-figure trader, I'm a 6-figure trader, that's great. But are you backing it up by anything? That's where the action takes place, right? So having all this, getting down to the nitty-gritty is honestly where the results come in. Remember that success leaves clues. So have the evidence ready. Success leaves clues. Remember that, what was I gonna say? Wow, I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyway, those are DMOs and OKRs. And then just remember what you're focusing on. Remember who you are and what you're doing. Have a Y card. I have a Y card in my wallet. So if you want this to be on your Y card, or if you want it to be on your whiteboard or something that's going to be in front of you, I always say if you have to write notes 5 times or write your schedule 5 times or write anything as many times as you need to, like don't be ashamed of it, or don't be like, oh, this is a waste of my time. No, success is in the things that you don't want to do. That's what I was going to say. Success is found in the work that you're avoiding. No, I don't want to take notes on my notebook. It's easier on my laptop. Okay, but blue and writing will leave you remembering a feeling. It's a lot easier to remember your notes when you write them than when you type them. I don't know why. It just is. And even though I do have digital notes, like it's good to see, or it feels good to write out your notes too. And then remember, anytime you don't want to do something, every time you don't want to hop on a call, that's exactly when you should hop on the call, because that's going to be the information that you're missing. That one thing that someone is going to say, that's going to shift your paradigm, even though you might have heard it before. Like, you guys all know about these things. It's not new information. Tim or I tell you to take inventory all the time. We tell you to write things down. We tell you to stay organized, right? So why are you guys on this call? Because sometimes you just need to hear it another time for it to be really click. Sometimes you just need to see visual evidence for you to be like, okay, yeah, I could definitely take my business a little bit more seriously. Because if you're not taking this as a business, you're taking it as a hobby, then you're not going to get paid. Then it's more of a liability. So I think that's what I had for. Oh, and then I have accountability. You guys can still see my screen, right? Steph or Melanie, can you give me a thumbs up? Cool. Accountability. We do accountability calls every Wednesday. Some of my team does it on, accountability on Sundays. Some of my team does it on Monday or Wednesday. It really depends on the team. But I like it in the beginning of the week because now you know, okay, it's time to reflect. Sundays are for reflecting and preparing yourself for the next 7 days. So get together with a group, spend an hour talking about how your previous week went, how you want this week to go, what you're going to focus on, what your DMOs are. And I won't it doesn't have to be an Excel sheet. It doesn't have to be like that. But, oh shoot, I actually want to share one more thing. But make sure that you know what it is that your team is working on. And then you have evidence, or you could have a reference on how to check in on them. So I won't show you guys everything, but basically, okay, my OneNote, I have organization, right? I have my Chicago team. I have my Costa Rica team. So this might be a little bit creepy, but anytime I have a one-on-one with them or during their launch, I ask about them. And then my brain can't retain all that information. So I know I could go back here and I could say, hey, Kaylon, like, how is your daughter? How's your son? Now I'm building rapport with them. They know that I care because I do, but also like, I don't have to keep all that information in my brain. Same thing with accountability. They could tell you their goals, but are you even going to remember that? Write these things down. So that's what I had to say about that. Yeah, this one goes probably from the beginning of when that happened. And then I just like to rewrite them. So these are what I'm focusing on. And then you get to see, okay, did you check in on this person? If Angie has the goal of, running every single day, then I could probably see that on her Instagram. Or if I don't see it, I could be like, hey, I know that you want to run every single day. Like, do something. I don't know. We have that relationship, so that could be okay. But yeah, those are some of the things that I put into practice in terms of organization and how I maybe seemingly have my things together. But remember that affirmations are important, but backing those affirmations up are even more important. That your behavior should be a reflection of your identity. And if you identify as a chairman, if you identify as a 6-figure trader, 7-figure trader, like, you have to back it up. So a new identity, if you want a new identity, it really just requires new evidence. So here, we are quantum creators, right? So you get to choose who it is that you want to be. You literally are one choice away from a different you. So all you have to do is say, I'm changing. I am someone that's organized. I am someone that takes notes every single day. I am, so on and so forth. And then you have the evidence to back it up so that that identity, it comes true. So basically, guys, if you want to be more organized, just make the choice. The process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself. So if you want to manifest that chairman residual income, if you want to manifest that 6-figure trading account, it's going to feel so, so good. But that is your truest form. That's going to be your new authentic self, right? But you need to build the habits in order to get there. I think that's really all I have for you guys. I didn't want to make this training too long, but go ahead and go on YouTube. If you're on your computer, type in Quantum Creations and save it, because that's going to be where Tim sends the that's going to be where Tim sends the recording and all other recordings that we have. Also, make sure you check out LBD, John Gualman's team. And that's all I really have. Thanks so much, guys, for spending some time with me, for taking notes. I love you too, Leslie. Cody, you're a savage as well.
Nancy,
but guys,
I got some Q&As for you. You ain't leaving.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I'm ready.
I got some questions for y'all. So y'all drop some 7s in the chat while I kind of give an introduction to this. And really, I think, and Nancy, you absolutely killed it, and that's why I'm doing Q&As. I was actually writing questions as you were speaking. I'm not going to do too many, just a couple, because I'm going to ask you if you're open to doing something else after this call. I'm going to put you on the spot in front of 90 people, which means you probably have to say yes. So, so really, guys, she took Trading Made Simple, right? She took what Mike created and made it her own, right? A lot of people are asking for templates. That was the template she took. And I think that you have to look at this as your office, right? Anyone who's worked in corporate America, we used to have Microsoft Outlook. at the accounting firm. And when I would get there in the morning, I would start the computer up, while the computer was dragging ass, and I would go get a cup of coffee. The first thing I would look is Microsoft Outlook, right? I would look at, okay, what's planned for the day? What are the objectives that need to be done for the day? What do I have to do, in order to keep my job, right? And so that's the same thing, is look at this like what you look at in the morning, right? Open that up, read out your affirmation to yourself, use it as a check mark, just make this yours. It doesn't have to be the exact way that Nancy makes hers. It doesn't have to be the way that I have mine. Make it yours. A lot of people, when I was looking at this, because this is a thought process that I had, that I felt like some people would feel is, some people would think that this is a little bit overboard, right? But listen to me. If you owned a traditional business, would you not already be doing what she's doing right now, though? You would, right? If you owned even say a clothing store, you would be building relationships with your employees, so you would know how to lead them. You would know how to get them to perform. You would know what their goals are. You would know what times they can actually show up to work. You would know everything about that employee. The reason why you don't get paid like a business is because you don't treat it like one. What Nancy's done is treat it like a business, so it's not a surprise when she starts making $500,000 a month, right? She's prepared for $500,000 a month. Now, P150s, P600s, P1000s, this is the perfect time after this week, right, to start focusing on this. I know my goal for April, right? My goal for April is to train the influx of new traders that are coming into the business. And number 2, systemize YouTube and Facebook, right? We have some plans to beef up the YouTube so everyone can use it as leverage. Create a Facebook as a system to use it as leverage. We have things I'm already planning out what I'm going to do in April, right? But use this as your time to start building up your database, start learning about people, because now you're going to know how to become a better leader. You're going to know what your people want to do. You're going to know how you can best serve, right? If you're a P150 and above, even at P150, start your inventory sheet. Yeah, you may only have 3 people and it may only be 1 person per leg, but at least you know what their Instagram is. At least you know what event they're going to. At least you know what their cell phone number is. At least you know their why. At least you know when they're going to pay every single day, every single month. You know what I'm saying? You're starting now and you're building that up. And I think that, Nancy, I got like 4 or 5 questions for you here, but really, guys, like, this is how you run $1 million business. We remember the numbers I gave you before. In order to make Chairman 10 income, you have to be able to run $1,080,000 a year business. So let's just keep it simple. You have to run $1 million a year business. Would $1 million a year business not have a system like this? If not, then get started with it, right? Get started with it. And there will be a question, because some of you still may be overwhelmed, and it is overwhelming. I understand it. But I'm going to ask a question. It's going to be the 3rd question. I really think that will take your overwhelmedness and minuscule. So, Nancy, I'm going to ask you 5 questions here. Okay. Number 1, how has organizing, right, or being organized helped with just like your personal life? Because we can become extremely obsessed with business and it can really just become our personal life. How has organizing allowed you to have personal time for yourself, time with Mike, time with family? Like, how has it just shifted your life overall, being organized?
Yeah, so knowing what I'm going to do the next day and Mike doing the same, then we know, okay, what are the windows that we're open? Maybe we can have lunch together. Maybe we could just like chill at the end of the day, when it's 1, 2 a.m. Before bed, then we have that time. And especially with the weekends, because the business tends to slow down. So if I know that he has a big gap from, after 6 p.m. on Saturday, cool, like we could chill on Saturday. But yeah, it's just like about comparing schedules because that schedule is prepared.
For you personally, how has it just like, because sometimes people, like in the beginning while they're organizing, they think they feel robotic, but now that it's become just a natural habit, like how has organized, like do you feel better when everything's like kind of scheduled?
Yes. So my type A or my yellow is really showing, but I think it's just because you have more clarity in your mind. Like you're not thinking about a million things at once. So I think you're more in a flow state because you have that structure. I think really that's just kind of like the beauty of duality is that structure actually brings you more flow because you're not spending all this energy on like, oh shit, what do I have to do next? Did I do that like is the laundry still in the laundry? Like, you know, when you're when you're just like a cluster of all these thoughts that you don't know where anything is anymore. I think having things written down in front of your face, sometimes multiple times in your calendar, just really gives you more headspace to allocate the energy that you got to do.
Awesome. And this is like a 1.5 for people that are like, task oriented or goal oriented. I'm someone that's very task oriented. So the moment I finish the task and I'm able to cross that off, it gives me a massive boost or jump in energy. And so if you find yourself struggling with energy throughout the day, scheduling may be the thing that it's like, why make your bed in the morning, right? Because it triggers the endorphins in your brain to want to go accomplish something else, right? So I think scheduling and being able to do that is super important. The second question is, it's a two-part question. Question number one is, why organize? And question number two, how has organizing allowed you to prioritize your time with your goals?
Why organize?
That was kind of
Oh,
question one, but I like that.
okay. It's like I don't want to repeat the same answer. And then how has organizing allowed me to what? I'm sorry.
Prioritize like activities towards your goals.
Oh, this is a good one. When I see things in front of me, like you cannot run from this information, right? It's literally in black and white or black and blue. When you see things in front of you, like that is the evidence. So funny enough, I think John Guaman's on this call. I had a conversation with him where he's like, how are you spending your time? And I literally had all the evidence, right? Like, this is what I'm doing. This is my daily method of operation. And then he said, okay, let's tweak it because it's wrong. And I was like, okay, like that's what we got to do. You got to do what you got to do. So organizing this and knowing what I have to work on, then I know where I could reallocate, whatever it is that I have to do. Same thing with my team. I know that the majority of my team is in Chicago, right? Because it says it on my inventory. Now I have a solid base in Chicago. Obviously, I will always be building here, but I could allocate my energy and maybe hashtag other areas, other cities, and build out there. Same thing with when I like to look at other people's teams, other people's inventories, or when they want to show me, if I see like 99% of their team is men, dude, you are missing 50% of the population. Like, get out there and talk to someone. Get out there and talk to a woman. It's just like having all this evidence in front of your face really puts you in a position where you can't deny the truth. So it's like, okay, now I know what I have, and I kind of know what I lack too. So I hope that answers your question.
No, yeah, it's good. This is something that goes back to the statement I made earlier about this being scary. And so I think, looking at this as the first time, someone who's not organized, this can be extremely scary, or be like, oh, I can never do this, or this just isn't me, right? And I don't think that's true. I want to kind of talk about, like, how was your transition from, okay, like, can you explain like transitioning, going from not being very organized to talking about maybe doing this step by step and adding something on, adding something on, adding something on? Like your organization, you didn't have all that in the beginning. You just added things on over time. Can you talk about how that transition helped?
Baby steps, 1% a day. If you get 1% better a day, each day, in a year, you will be 37 times more than you would have thought. So it's just like, okay, if today you choose to buy a planner, awesome, that's step one. Tomorrow you choose to write in the planner, dope, that's step two. Then you start building the habit. It takes 21 days to build a habit. And then I think it goes back to what I said in the beginning, like choosing your identity. I am someone that's organized, therefore I will act accordingly. Buy a whiteboard, write in that whiteboard. Just taking those baby steps really does make all the difference, because now you're building the evidence that you need in order to back up who it is that you're saying that you are.
Awesome.
But yeah, before I just started with, what did I start with? I think I started with just like taking notes on Google Docs, and then I started organizing those. And then Trading Made Simple, I already had that. So I was like, well, I need a pipeline. I needed somewhere to write it down. So I created the CRM with my pipeline. And then I think I wanted to just look at something, have like an outlook for the week, or just a space to feel organized maybe. And I created a dashboard. And then I found OneNote, and I started using Google Calendar more. So those are the foundations of my systems, I guess. It's just finding things that work for you, eliminating the things that don't, and just feeling good about how you're working.
Yeah, I'd really recommend like 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day of, organizing, how can I make my life simpler? Like maybe you start with 15 minutes of doing your inventory, and then Once you've mastered that, okay, now it's finding out, how to, like you said, do the pipeline, just searching every single day to add something or become better at something. I think like it's like eating the elephant one piece at a time, right? Like the phrase, that was a bad example for me. Y'all get the point. Okay. Question number 4. Do you train your team on how to do this? Like, do you spend any time training people on inventory or organizing different things like that? And how do you go about training them?
100%. Anything that I do is only so I could teach others. So Sheila literally just said, your yellow was rubbing off on me, because I sat down and I did this with her. You guys saw her example of OKRs and objectives. I sat down today with London on the Milwaukee team, did the same thing with him. I sat down with Maria Elise, like everything that I learn, I want to help other people do the same thing if they want it, right? So if you ask, you shall receive. But yeah, definitely. Something that I really admired about Alana is usually I give people their inventory when they're healthily over P150. So going on P6, right? Like that means you have about less than 10 people on your team. So she, as soon as she got her first personal, she's like, give me inventory. She was already preparing herself to go P150, P6 chairman. Like her belief level was there. She wanted to have those systems in place so that when the evidence pops up. So yes, and to answer your question, as soon as people hit P150 or a little bit over P150, I give them inventory because that's when their leadership skills should be developing. They should be hopping on the calls and seeing how things are ran. And then they should obviously be having a list of people that they're working with.
Yeah. And I think something that's super cool about inventory is that you can hyperlink people's names, so you can keep it super, super clean. And when you're showing someone, you don't have to give off other people's information. You can hyperlink everything, and then anytime that so let's say I have Stephanie, Alana, and Ryan working on it, right? Anytime they edit it, it naturally is being edited because it's a cloud, right? So that's the best thing about inventory is that, if you're a P1000, you have 30 people on your team, you have 3 P600s, 1 per leg, and your P600s are keeping inventory. Your only job as that P1000 is to go in there and start checking and seeing, okay, how can I start? And this is amazing for Taprooting. I'm sure this has helped you a lot. Like, wow, this person has put on 2 people this week. I should probably get on a call with her and see what her goals are and see what she wants to do and start working through the business. The more that you can actually like see your business, work on your business, it's going to grow. So inventory is phenomenal. And then this is the last question. After the Blitz week, would you want to do a step-by-step with me on a blank template and just talk about basic organization building for teams, like inventory, goals, DMOs, different things like that?
Yeah, that's going to be a longer training. So if you guys are ready and ready to receive, then let's run it.
Yeah, so Nancy and I saw a lot of people asking in the chat for templates and wanting to get some info, and I was like, you know what? I have a feeling that Nancy's going to get bombarded with 100 hours of training people. So I was like, let's just do a big group one. So Nancy and I will work on something this week, creating a template on going over a couple things. We'll share it to the team. And then obviously it's going to be basic because y'all got to figure it out yourself too. So guys, I hope you got value from this. If you did, please take the largest or the biggest or the most impactful thing that you learned today. Drop it in the QC chat. Just to share the wealth with everyone else. This was a super awesome call for me. I hope it was a super awesome call for each and every single one of you. I hope you guys are all enjoying the QC Snipes chat. We're working on something now in the back, in the back room, talking about a couple things on how to make it even better than what it already is. And guys, I'm really excited. So remember, this week we have calls, the Blitz calls with Jason and Matt. I have it in my notes at 10 a.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Central Time, and 7 p.m. Central Time. The flyer is already in the QC announcements. I'll drop it again in the morning. It's Eastern Time on the flyer. So make sure you understand that the flyer is Eastern Time. Adjust that to your schedule. Remember, just because it's this week, do not miss the bounce back and trade house sessions in the morning. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 10 a.m. Crank out your 5 to 6 hours a week with trading. Make sure that you're going throughout the week, focusing on getting as many people as you can to those calls. This is only the second time I've ever seen them do this. So this is literally like, there is no better opportunity than now. After that, on Saturday, I haven't announced it yet, but I'm going to be planning an overall team launch call. So I'll be going on a call doing explaining the culture, explaining why there's 500 messages in an hour and a half, right? Explaining what we're doing for everyone that's getting started with us, because there is going to be an influx of people coming this week, and it will be a little bit confusing for them. So obviously there'll be launches throughout the week. We'll talk about that as well. What's it called? And then on Sunday, we have the Chairman Boot Camp, or the Super Sunday. We'll call it a Super Bowl because who knows if there's going to be a Super Bowl this year. And so it's going to be our Sunday Super Bowl. We have people like Emery Holmes on there, Cash Cartier, John Guaman, Alex Morin's going to be on there. Nigel's going to be on there. We have Teacup Lou, right? He's going to be talking about personal development on there. It's going to be 5 hours of like amazingness. We got 2 hours, 1 hour of steady training. John Dollery and Justin Saini will be doing a training for us. We got Mike Navarrete and Jordan Morgan doing a training for us. It is going to be a powerful, powerful Sunday. And so the reason why we set this up is really just to prepare that next generation. The next generation is coming, right? Gen 2 is here, and this is the week where it happens. So guys, I appreciate you. I love each and every single one of you. Have a phenomenal evening. If you need anything, message myself or in the chat. I'm going to upload this to YouTube now, and I'll post it as soon as it's done. Please go on our YouTube and follow. Go leave some comments if you want. Like it, do all that kind of stuff, boost it up. In April, y'all are going to see some really cool stuff on there. So love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Well, I'll chat soon.
Thanks, y'all.